What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with a brand new deck profile video. This time I'll be going back and taking another look at my gray deck, the Zombies. Ever since the Zombies' original releases, they've been sporadically good and sporadically bad, but they really didn't start seeing a lot of use until, well, the Shiranuis came out a couple of years ago. And I'm not gonna lie, the news support that they just released, even though it was literally just a synchro monster and a trap card, has made this deck get a whole new perspective, and I absolutely love it. So let's see where this goes. Starting off, we'll go with the ones underneath level 4, because, well, they actually do a lot of the work. Single Plague Spreader Zombie, one of the oldest zombie tuners in the game, and connected to the oldest zombie synchros in the game. The Spectral Swords, however, see a lot more use lately. If it's in the grave, and you have another zombie in your grave, you can banish it and that zombie to perform I call it a pseudo-synchro summon, because it's not actually a synchro summon, it's just special summoning a synchro monster with appropriate levels. But, you know, it works. Beast of the Pharaoh. This is a one-of tech monster that I've been running that I've had great success with. If it's used as a synchro material, you get to bring back any level 4 or lower zombie from your grave. Quite frankly, that is incredibly useful. At least to me it is. And the triple uni-zombie, which pretty much no zombie deck should ever be without, in my personal opinion. You drop a zombie from your hand and or a zombie from your deck, and if you use either of these effects, you get to increase the level of a monster on the field. One of these effects restricts you to only being able to attack with zombies for a turn, but you know what? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Next, we move into the level 4 and higher part of the deck, and yes, I did just say higher. Triple Goblin Zombie. If it goes from the field to the grave by any means, you get to search your deck for any zombie of 1200 defense or less and add it to your hand. And if it does battle damage, you get to mill a card from your opponent's deck, but I really don't use that effect. Mizuki is yet another monster that should be in every single zombie deck. If it's in the grave, you can banish it to bring any zombie monster from your grave back to the field. Shiranui Solitaire. I love this monster, although I wish they could have just kept its original name of Sage, but it's whatever. If you tribute a zombie-type monster with its effect, you get the special any zombie with tuner with 0 defense from your deck to the field. And if it gets banished, you get the special summon a zombie that's banished, specifically a Shiranui zombie, that is. But if you happen to have the field spell out on the field, you get the special summon 2. Spirit Master makes it very easy to abuse the effect of Solitaire. When you normal summon it, you special summon a Shiranui from your hand or grave, but it gets banished if it leaves the field. Not Spirit Master, the monster you summon off of its effect. And if this card gets banished, you get to pop a card. Triple Zombie Master. I've gone back and forth between Zombie Master and the field spell for a long time, but I just found that Zombie Master was better. Once per turn, you get to discard a monster card from your hand to target a level 4 or lower zombie in the grave and special summon it. But this card has to be on the field fully for that effect to resolve properly, which is fine. I don't really have much of an issue with this. It's no less vulnerable than the field spell was in that regard. And then the single copy of Vampire Duke. If it's special summoned, you get to send a card from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Not just mill, you get to specify the variety. Sometimes losing that specific spell card variety can hurt your opponent more than anything else. Next, we move into the spell lineup, starting, of course, with Double Book of Life. Used to be triple, but double just works better. Special summon a zombie from the grave by banishing a monster from your opponent's graveyard. It's a really good card for zombies. Dragon's Mirror. This card I've gone back and forth about its use, but it works well enough for me to consider it good. You banish from your field or your grave fusion material monsters on a Dragon Fusion, and you special summon that Dragon Fusion as a fusion summon. The one Dragon Fusion monster requires zombies to summon, so I consider it direct zombie support, and I think that's fine. Foolish Burial, obvious reasons, send a monster from deck to grave, mostly a Mizuki. Double Gold Sark. Again, I went back and forth between 2 and 3, but 2 just seemed much more streamlined and fast. Banish a monster from your deck. During 2 standby phases away from this, you get to add that card back to your hand. Really good to set up those later Spirit Master plays if you manage to survive that long. And double MST. It's MST. And then we finish up with the trap lineup, starting off with the commonly used bottomless trap hole, triple of the new Shiranui style trap card Samsara, which treats itself as the field spell while it's face up. I'll be honest, I really don't use this particular part of its effect very much. It's the other 2 effects that I care about, and you can activate one of them during either player's turn. You get to either banish a face-up zombie you control and you take no damage the turn you use it, or you can take 2 banished zombies with 0 defense, put them back into the deck, and then draw. It's a much better version of Shuten Doji. It rules. And it goes perfectly right alongside Shiranui style Swallow Slash, which lets you tribute a zombie, destroy 2 cards your opponent controls, and then banish a Shiranui from your deck, which will more than likely be another copy of that Spirit Master, so you can get that 3rd destruction, 3 for 2. Sort of. And of course the single Solemn Warning. Then we move into the side deck, which is very diverse, all things considered. We've got the 3rd Spectral Sword, the Shiranui Smith, which I've gone back and forth about its use, but I just prefer a Goblin Zombie in all honesty. Doomkaiser Dragon, which steals the zombie from the opponent's graveyard, but since I don't run Zombie World, this is more just for the mirror match. Revive King Hades. Negating everything you battle if you battle with zombies is great, but it's just not really warranted at high numbers. The 3rd Book of Life, Double Dark Hole, Gold Sark number 3, MST number 3, Compulsory, Double Memory Loss, Mirror Force, Torrential, and Vanities. And then we get into the extra deck lineup, which is fairly diverse as well, even if it is almost all zombie type. Double Drago Necro Nether Soul Dragon. I love this monster and its concept of its abilities. It's beautiful in my opinion. Now, what it does is if it battles an opponent's monster, the opponent's monster isn't destroyed, but you get to reduce its attack to 0 and summon a token to your side of the field whose stats are the same as the original monster's. So if you are strong enough to kill it once, you get to kill it again. Archfiend Zombie Skull, which I think is the best out of the original Plague Spreaders Synchro monsters. Prevents your monsters from being destroyed by card effect. And Revive King Hades makes it so that any zombie that you battle with can negate the effects of anything it destroys in battle, which means floaters can just go straight to hell. I don't normally summon these legitimately unless I really have the opportunity, but more often than not I perform that pseudo-synchro summon I was telling you about before. These two, on the other hand, Shiranui Samurai Saga and Shogun Saga, both warrant being at 3 in this deck. Samurai Saga says that once per turn, you can return a banished zombie to the deck and switch all opponent's monsters to defense mode whose attack is less than or equal to the return monsters. And if it gets banished, you reduce an opponent's monster's attack by 500. The second effect's really not that important, it's the first one that matters. Because that means that since Mizuki actually has defense points, you have ways of returning it using Samurai Saga. Shogun Saga, on the other hand, when it's summoned, you banish a zombie out of your graveyard to give its attack points to him for the turn, and if he gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you return a zombie that's banished with 0 defense back to the grave. But Sun Saga is the big one that I have been waiting for so long. I have been praying that we would get another higher level synchro for Shiranui. When it's summoned, you return all of your banished and engraved zombie synchros to the extra deck, and then destroy cards on the field equal to the number that you return, or up to rather. And if for whatever reason you would happen to be about to lose a zombie monster by battle or card effect, you just banish one of the Shiranuis that just happen to be in your graveyard instead, which triggers their banishing effects. I love this monster. It's amazing. Then we get into the Xyz engine, which is just Ghost Trick Alucard, which I rarely summon, but it's good for set card destruction. Crimson Eye Vampire Ram, which is easy to do if you do the 10-star lineup that you would normally use for Sun Saga of a fully loaded uni-zombie with a Vampire Duke. Pilgrim Reaper, which I don't summon as often as I'd like, but I do summon sometimes, and the double mill of 5 is great. And of course, Lancelot, Dark Knight of the Underworld, because I summon the 8 stars often enough to warrant its use. Being able to attack directly, negate cards, and destroy cards is fun. And that is the deck. I've had an immense amount of fun working with this deck and getting its formula perfectly, well, as close to perfect as I've been able to get it up to this point. And my friends have even commented on how useful some of the tech cards that I've thrown in here are for this selective version of the build that abuses all the different levels of synchros. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little deck profile. If you have any ideas on how I can improve it, please let me know. But in the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.
What's the next stage?